Hey everyone, if you have ever felt like you're not making progress on the banjo, this video is for you. I've taught so many students who just say they feel stuck sometimes, and I've been there too, and I know how frustrating that can be. So in this video, we're not looking at technical banjo mistakes, we're looking at mindset mistakes. But these are things that can actually really hold your playing back, and more importantly, make music less fun. Learn to recognize and beat these mistakes, and you're going to be a better, happier musician for it. So let's get into it. So the first mistake is one that I've definitely been guilty of, and I'll explain by telling a little story. So I started this YouTube channel just a little over a year ago, and when I did, I decided to see who else was out there creating banjo stuff maybe I didn't know about. And I came across this kid that was like 30 years younger than me, and honestly a better technical banjo player than I will ever be. And my first response to that was to think like, oh no, like who am I to teach? Who am I to put my stuff out there when there's these better technical players? And really that mistake is comparing yourself to other people. It can make you feel discouraged. It can make you feel like you're not good enough, and it just makes playing less fun. But at the end of the day, no one in the world plays banjo like you. How cool is that? So you don't need to think of this as I'm better or worse than this other person. You need to think of this as you are refining and finding your own unique voice. And when you think about it that way, I feel like this banjo stuff just gets a whole lot more fun. All right, mistake number 2. This is such a common mistake. I talk to so many students that do this. Say you want to learn a song and you go to my website or somewhere else, you find a tab, you download it, and you start playing, and you get stuck on like a couple measures, right? And you just realize like, man, like my drop thumb, for example, is just no good. Like, it just doesn't sound right. So you drop everything. You just say, okay, I'm not doing anything else in the banjo until I'm awesome at drop thumb, and I'm just going to spend days, weeks, months, whatever it takes. All I'm going to do is practice drop thumb. Let me tell you, when you do that, you are stunting your growth as a musician. You are making the whole thing less fun, less enjoyable, and you're less likely to continue with it. And what I've noticed too is when I have something like this and I drill and I drill and I drill and I bang my head against the wall, I make about the same amount of progress as if I were to dedicate 1 to 5 minutes at the beginning of all of my practice sessions to drilling. So that really is my advice here. Rather than drop everything, dedicate all your music time to one specific skill, dedicate 1 to 5 minutes of deliberate practice at the beginning of your practice sessions, and you'll be amazed at the progress you make, and you're going to have a lot more fun doing it. Mistake number 3. So look, I describe myself as an obsessive banjo player. A lot of you are too. I know so many people that just play and play and play because you love it, and that is awesome. But here's the thing, when we get obsessive like this, we can burn ourselves out. If I'm practicing banjo just every minute of the day and I feel like I can't pick up the banjo without spending an hour or 2 on it, that really actually probably limits the time I'm going to play. So I'm going to have these bursts where I play hours a day for, a couple of weeks, and then I'm going to put my banjo away and I'm not going to play it for a few months. And that's because I can't walk by the banjo and think about just picking it up and playing a song. I think like, well, I don't have 2 hours right now, so I can't play the banjo. So establishing a consistent, sustainable routine is the way to go here, right? By all means, like if you want to take a Saturday afternoon and play for 4 hours, like do it. I love doing that. It's a lot of fun. But also be willing to pick up the banjo as you're walking by, play through Cripple Creek one time and call it a day. Not putting time pressure on yourself really makes this a lot easier and a lot more fun. Again, we want something sustainable that we can continue for our lifetime, right? Like you don't have to be the best player in the world right away. You'll get there. Because at the end of the day, it's all about finding joy in your music and just having fun when you pick up the banjo. So why not start by learning a few new songs?